Welcome everybody to episode 321 of the effing title. I am Big Husky, and today it is just me yet again because the boy is still moving. He is having some internet problems and issues. So with that being said, it's just me again this week. And I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for the podcast, because if you guys don't know, and if you've watched long enough, one, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I'm assuming I would assume the boy DeNutte would as well. You know what? As well, let me see here. Hold up a second. Let me try to find the right thing here. Where is it? Is it this one? It's this one there? Bang! There he is. There he is. He's down there. He's down in the bottom. He's chilling now. Okay, he's down there in the bottom. But now, so what I was gonna say though is this. I've been doing this. I've been doing the effing title for a long time. And I don't remember exactly when I started it. That's why I'm going to go look right now. I want to say it was in February. February 10th of 2020 was the very first ever episode of the effing title. So I've been doing this for over 5 years now. And with that being said, sometimes I got to do some solo episodes, and I did a lot of solo episodes in the very beginning. I would bring in some guests, but sometimes I would do just solo episodes. And before I even did this and started putting on YouTube, we also did the effing title on just Twitch. And it was a lot of just me just running my mouth, and then story time, where I would just tell dirty stories. And that's how we ended it. It was like a bedtime story thing. But with that being said, though, I'm thankful to still be here and be able to do all this. And with that being said, I was trying to think of what I wanted to talk about today, because I always feel like there's certain times when coming up with ideas for topics for the episodes is sometimes a difficult thing. And I'm not locked in anymore like I used to be. Like in college, I used to be locked into football. And it was one of those things where I can name at least 15 to 20 players on every single NFL team. I knew the colleges they went to. I knew where they were drafted, when they were drafted. It was insane, just the numbers I knew for that sort of stuff. And I'm not like that anymore. I have a lot of different things that I like, a lot of different, things I like. One of them is the topic we're going to be talking about today. It is trading card games. And if you guys don't know that, where have you been? Because we do a lot of different things with trading card stuff here. We do the effing card game, where me and DeNutte have been playing different card games, which is where part of this idea kind of came from to do this episode today. Along with I do Husky Opens, which is a weekly episodic thing on TikTok, soon to be coming to YouTube. Nice little sneak peek teaser there for everybody, where I just open random cards. Like, for instance, like right next to me here, I have some cards. I have Dragon Ball Super, and I have Star Wars Unlimited cards. And this is literally just from some card packs that we recently opened for Husky Opens. I've never played either one of those games, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about today. Because, like I said, I want to do something that kind of have a decent hold on. Right, I'm a very casual player in the sense of all these, but I wanted to talk about card games as a whole, card games we have played, and some other card games just in general, right? And if you are visually watching this on YouTube, thank you, appreciate you. I got 4 different card backgrounds on there, which are 4 of the top 5 most played card games right now. Which is interesting because I saw this and I was like, okay, that makes sense. The 4th one, for people that don't know right now, it is Magic the Gathering, One Piece, Pokemon, Disney Lorcana, and the last one is Yu-Gi-Oh! So kind of where we would be, right, with these. So I'm kind of just going to bird brain this to an extent. We're just going to be all over the place. There's no real, I have no script. The only thing I have right now is a list on my side screen here and TCG Player open. And we're just going to get into it, right? So we're going to start from the bottom and work my way up, I think, instead of starting at the top and working my way down. So I've done, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 categories, okay? So the 6 categories are as follows. Honestly, never thought about it. Want to play. Never again. Maybe again? Need to play again. And I like this. I want to play. I like playing this. That's just the categories I'm putting them in. And I'm going to talk about them a little bit more when we get into that certain aspect of it. And I want to change out one of these real quick because this just doesn't deserve to be there. That deserves to be there. Okay, so honestly never thought about it. There's only 2 in this. And one of them is Dragon Ball Super. And the other one is Sorcery Contested Realms. So with a lot of this, what I'm going to be talking about today, some of this is stuff that I know decently well, i.e. from my shelf here, right? Where it's just Magic, Lorcana, and then all the way down at the bottom is Pokemon, Digimon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So like that's my wheelhouse right there. Some of these I don't have a wheelhouse other than certain things that we'll talk about, right? So Dragon Ball Super is one that I just have cards of. Like right next to me here, I have this card of, what is this? This is Bulma / Son Goku Childhood. Bang. Right? And it's one of those things, like, I have a bunch of cards from Dragon Ball Super, all the different other Dragon Balls. How many different Dragon Ball things are there? There's Dragon Ball Super, there's Dragon Ball Z TCG, there's Dragon Ball Super, but then there's this Fusion World, and then it says Masters. So I don't know anymore. Dragon Ball, any of the Dragon Ball ones, right? It's just one of those things, I feel like most people my age, mid-30s, are, to an extent, fans of Dragon Ball Z, right? It came out during our childhood. It's something we've grown up with. Whether or not you still follow along with it, not me. Or you do still follow along with it. There's always those characters that you like. There's those characters that you find interesting. And that was kind of the reason for me opening some Dragon Ball Super stuff. Was more the fact of it's an interesting thing because it's a card game, but it's based off of Dragon Ball, right? So, it's one of those things I've never honestly thought about playing it with DeNutte, or just playing it in general. I just kind of like collecting the cards and seeing what sort of cool artwork they have, to be honest with you. And some of the artwork on it is insane, some of the foiling and stuff. But there are some cards that I do want to get. I would love to get a bunch of Rose Gokus. Just a bunch of evil Goku. What is the name of it? Goku Black. There we go. I want to make sure it's Super Saiyan Rose. Goku Black, though. I want to get all the Goku Black cards because I think that'd be really cool. Sorcery Contested Realms. I know nothing about this card game. The only thing I know about this card game is the fact that me and DeNutte... No, not me and DeNutte. Me and Booba... Sorry, Booba and DeNutte. Sorry. Me and Booba opened up a shit ton of stuff. He had 2 beta boxes of it. And I think we opened up both of them. I could be wrong about that. We could have only opened up one. But I do know for a fact, though, that we did open them. And that was kind of one of those things that was really kind of cool because it was interesting seeing this. The artwork on the cards was really cool looking. But as a overall, like, just looking at the cards when we were opening them, I have genuinely no idea how that game is played. And it's interesting because with some of these card games, as we go through them and as I'll talk about it, you can kind of tell what games are kind of easier to play and what games aren't easier to play based off of just the basic design of the cards, right? And I think that is a massive thing when you think about it because, for instance, like just looking at, I'm just going to click on this right here. Get me out of that store. I was looking at buying cards earlier. For instance, if you look at like a Pokemon card, you look at it and you kind of have a decent idea of what's going on. You look at a Magic card, same thing. You look at it, you have a decent idea of what's going on. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like with those 3 specifically, I think those are kind of the big 3 right now. You look at the card, you kind of have a basic idea of what's happening. A little bit with One Piece, too, I'll say. Because we have played One Piece, there is a little element to that where it's like we kind of get it. But the main ones, though, for me right now, I feel like are Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, play-wise, right? Just playing it. So Sorcery Contested Realm, fantastic artwork on the cards. Fantastic. Grade A. However, no clue how to play it. So that's honestly never thought about it. Now, of course, I'm not doing all card games because Jesus Christ would be here forever. I'm just doing some card games that I looked at recently that I personally have bought cards, like I've bought packs of, and I've opened packs, I've ripped packs, and I only say this because there's a couple on here that I've never actually opened before, but I hope I will eventually. there's some that are just, games that I'm intrigued about. So now we're going to move to Never Again. I'm actually switching the order here. So Never Again. These are card games that I never will play ever again. I'm going to start off with Flesh and Blood. Now this could also be because my introduction to Flesh and Blood was me and Booba playing it, and we were already in a goofy, silly mood, but nothing made sense about the game. Now, someone out there that could be listening to this and be hearing this and totally understands what Flesh and Blood is, they play it, they're hardcore, they're all about it. Like, that's their thing, man. How can you not understand it? None of it made sense to me. You have to equip equipment, then you don't have equipment, then you got to do, like, a war thing, and, like, it made no sense. Like, we were trying to play it just randomly one day, because he had decks of it, and he wanted to get into it, and we tried, and it didn't make any sense. It genuinely made no goddamn sense. So, Flesh and Blood is a game I'm never going to play that again. And if I do play it again, it's going to be on the effing title. It's going to be the funniest episode, because me and DeNutte will have no clue what is going on. Or DeNutte will be a savant at it and just beat my ass like he does in most of the card games we play. Speaking of that, the next card game that we're going to do is Card Fight Vanguard. Card Fight Vanguard is super interesting to me specifically. Not so much DeNutte. With DeNutte, I feel like he does a lot of this because I ask him to, sort of thing. But with Card Fight Vanguard, there was just so much going on with this, and I'll say this right now. I wanted to play this after watching the anime. I watched the anime in this, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's do this. And I was like, let's do this. And then I looked online. I was like, wow, decks for this don't cost jack. Like, the decks for this is, like, right now looking online, I'm looking right now. There is I don't know why there's a $170 one. Yeah, so these are all trial decks. Why are they... Okay, because I know the deck that I bought was not that. The deck I bought was like $7, bro. Like, it was one of those things where, like, I bought a booster box for like $20, and I bought a deck for like $7, because I was like, why not, right? Yeah, where is the one that I bought? Is it less than that now? Oh my god, it's less than that now. Yeah, right there. Donji Momoyama Tyrant Tiger starter deck. It's currently listed as $3. So I was like, let's do this, dude. It's going to cost us less than $10 combined to buy decks. So that's what we did. And it made no sense. Like, watching the anime and then trying to play it ourselves, it made no sense. All I know is that I ride this card. And then, you've activated my ride trigger. And, like, there's certain aspects like that. And it felt very anime-ish doing it. And, like, oh, I ride this card. Oh, you activated my maximum overdrive trigger. But like DeNutte did a trigger and it said like his character gains like plus 1,000,000. So we were just like, you know what? We're done. We're done. We're not doing this anymore. Like, we're fine with ending this episode here. One shot, one episode, bing, bang, boom. We're done, right? Like, that's it. And to this day, I do believe, and I want to check real quick before I say this, because I try to give you guys the best information I can. Now, is that always going to be the best information? No. However, though, I'm trying my best to give you guys the best information. Where the hell are... There it is, the effing card game. I do believe the episode that we did of that... Yeah, so the episode that we did of that is one of the best episodes, viewership-wise, which is hilarious to me. But it's one that we're never going to play again. Never again, never again, never again. Really, like I said, cool anime. Really like the anime. However, though, trying to actually play the game, I need someone to, like, stand with me and, like, fully hold my hand while I play the game, I guess, because no clue. Now we're gonna move on. Now after doing that negative, now we're gonna do a real big positive, right? These are card games that I want to play. So these are card games that I've seen, I like the looks of, I've bought some stuff of, and not all of them, but I want to play them. They look fun to play, and I think it would be a really cool thing to do. Especially on the effing title, on the effing card game, but also just period. I just want to do it myself. So first things first, I'm gonna start off with Star Wars Unlimited. Star Wars Unlimited looks dope. I have like I said, right next to me. I recently bought a pack of it, and I had we got a foil Dooku A foil Count Dooku. So, I'm really excited. DeNutte actually, I think, just bought a deck. Either was it that or Union Arena? I forgot which one now. I'm kind of a jumble all over the place right now. But yeah. So what is the one that me and DeNutte have talked about playing, and we've been looking into it. We've been getting ready to play it. With my current monetary situation, we haven't been doing a lot of these recently, as you guys can probably tell. But what I do know is this, is that as I'm looking at it right now, there's the Legends of the Force Spotlight deck Qui-Gon Jinn. And Qui-Gon Jinn is my dude. I loved Qui-Gon Jinn when I was a kid watching these movies. I'm all in now, right? So that's the deck I know for a fact I'm going to buy. I'm looking right now, there's a set called Secrets of Power coming out in 2 months. So maybe we'll wait until that comes out so we can fully see everything. Because, like, I'm seeing a Qui-Gon Jinn deck, I'm seeing a Darth Maul deck, I'm seeing Boba Fett, I'm seeing Han Solo, and then I'm seeing 2-player starter kits. Which, 2-player starter kits are... I think 2-player starter kits are really cool. But at the same time, those are 2-player starter kits. I'm one person. DeNutte's one person, right? So, but the price-wise, though, money-wise, monetary-wise, though, it's the same. It's the same price as buying an actual starter deck. But that's one that I want to play. It looks really cool. It looks, card-wise, it looks very similar, to an extent, to Magic, Lorcana, a lot of these other games, where, like, if you look at this, and I'll just do the Dooku one again, but, like, you see here, has like a cost here, it has a red cost here, a blue cost here. Some of the other cards have costs down below at the bottom. So, like, of course, like I said, I haven't put any time into figuring out how to play the game. All I know is that I've bought a couple packs, I've seen the game, I've looked at the cards are cool. I'm intrigued. Like I said, I want to get the Qui-Gon Jinn deck because I like Qui-Gon Jinn. And that's more what matters to me, is getting a deck that offers something that I like versus getting, like, the meta deck or the best one. No, screw that. I want to get a deck that's based off the one that I like. Therefore, I want to get the Qui-Gon Jinn one. But Star Wars Unlimited is one that I'm very intrigued to play. Cards look cool. It apparently is doing very well right now, which is shocking. It's Star Wars, right? But Star Wars Unlimited is one that I'm very intrigued by. And you guys kind of heard me say the next one I'm going to talk about just barely too, which is Union Arena. So Union Arena is an interesting one because Union Arena is all anime, which is really freaking cool if you're an anime fan. It's fantastic. The cool thing with this, and this is one of the things that I was told by my good friend Jagger, who's been on here, big card game guy as well. He told me that the cool thing with Union Arena is that you can't, and like I said, I don't know if this is fully true. This is what he told me. I'm taking it at face value. Okay, so if I'm wrong, let me know. However, if I want to build, like, let's say I want to build JJK and Hunter x Hunter into one deck, I am not allowed to do that. The deck has to be from just that one anime, which I thought that's really cool. Because being able to do that and then be able to play against other people that have different anime decks, that's really cool. And I can only imagine the amount of animes that'll eventually come to this, right? Like, for instance, JJK just got a Volume 2, which is cool. I actually have some cards over here somewhere. I'm not sure where they are over there. They're just over there somewhere. I need to reorganize everything. But I just bought a pack of JJK Volume 2 recently. And DeNutte, like I said, I do believe, if I recall correctly, he did just buy a Union Arena deck, and he said, when we're ready to when you're ready to buy what one you want, we're ready to go now. Like, we can just send it. We can just, there is no hesitation. There is no, like, any of this. Like, boom, I'm ready to go now. And like I said, I want to say that he did. Nope, that's that one. Yeah, because that was that. That's that. Maybe he didn't send it to me on this. Maybe he sent me to it on... Maybe he sent me it on... Either way, he recently bought a Union Arena deck and was like, hey, when we want to go, we go now. And I was like, that's sick. The thing with me is, like I said, I don't care about the best decks. I don't care about the meta. I don't care about any of that shit. I care about what do I like. So for me, it's like, okay, well, what do I like anime-wise? And so far, there's been a couple. Kaiju number 8. I like Kaiju number 8. JJK. I like JJK. Sword Art Online, I started, haven't finished. And I started it a long time ago, so that one potentially could be interesting. Demon Slayer, I just started Demon Slayer. I totally understand the hype now after watching it and after thinking for a while, like, I wouldn't like this. I get it now. Hunter x Hunter was one of the first ones I watched, and I don't think I've ever went back and rewatched any of it. So for me, though, this is a really cool one because if there is an anime that you like, you can buy just that anime. You don't have to go into buying all the different things, right? Like, for instance, with Star Wars Unlimited, there's, all sorts of Jedi, Sith, this, that. With some of the cards we're going to be talking about later, like Lorcana, Pokemon, Magic. They have all these different sets where they just pick and choose from stuff, right? So eventually you might have to go through all these. With Union Arena, it's really cool because if you like JJK, you just buy JJK, and that's it. And I like that. This next one that I'm going to talk about, I actually, because I wanted to look, I have one pack coming, so it's no longer going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, I've never opened a pack of this. No, we will have soon. However, though, I know nothing about this. So if this is a card game that you, viewer, hi bro, if this is a card game that you have played, please inform me in the chat, in the chat, like I'm live right now, in the comments. Let me know down in the comments down below, right? And that is Gundam, the Gundam card game. I would love to know from you guys what you think of the Gundam card game, because Gundam to me is a really interesting one, simply just the fact of this. I know Gundam is massive. There's so much different Gundam stuff. However, to me, the only Gundam that I've ever really known is G Gundam. Yeah, that's right, G Gundam. Bolt Gundam, Cobra Gundam, like those sort of dudes, right? That's the one that I used to watch when I was growing up. And for me, that was the one, right? So I have no idea. I've seen some of the cards. I'm looking right now. I bought a pack of New Type Rising. So I'm genuinely haven't even really looked at the cards. But like looking at the cards, or looking at the card, like I'm looking right here. So this is Unicorn Gundam O2 Banshee Destroy Mode. First off, a lot of words. Level 6, cost 4. It's a unit. It has a 5 and a 4 in the bottom. And it says LR plus 1 at the top. I'm gonna assume LR1 is the maybe the rarity. Okay, so that's the rarity. So the level is 6, cost, attack points is 5, hit points is 4. Interesting. Okay, yes, there's attack and health. Okay, so yeah, so like you know what I'm saying, low. Like it all depends, but like most card games, it always feels like it's the same similar base. It's just that there's that one or two things that makes it unique. But yeah, no, I really haven't looked too much into Gundam, to be 100% honest with you. Because like I said, my big knowing with Gundam is G Gundam. And from what I know, because I don't think that is in G Gundam, is it? Oh, it makes an appearance in the last episode, okay. But yeah, like from what I've seen, thought I saw, G Gundam isn't in this. So immediately, it's one of those things. Like I would like to play it at some point when G Gundam comes to the game. Then yes, right. If I can get my dude Bolt Gundam, right? Bolt Gundam was my guy, right? The giant chain pops off, and then the electric whip on it. And, yeah, that dude. That was my dude, right? But until then, this is just a game I want to play. I'm very intrigued by it. It seems like it's already off to a good start, at least from what I think I've seen. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, that's one I'm intrigued by. This next one is one that's very weird, and I say it like that because of Union Arena, which is one we just talked about as well, which is Weiss Schwarz. So Weiss Schwarz, Take the stage and relive climactic moments. I'm literally reading what it says on TCG Player because I didn't know I had this little thing here. Take the stage and relive climactic moments with your favorite characters from anime, manga, and video games. I have bought a ton of different things from Weiss Schwarz because, like I said, it's anime, it's manga, it's video games. So I bought some of the different things. I've bought a couple packs of there's Overlord, but they call it what the hell is the name of the place there? Eventually I'll find it before I get to a point when I'm just from scrolling. But like they have RE0. I thought about buying some RE0 stuff because I like RE0. Naraka? No, not Naraka. Naraka is freaking a video game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had Naraka on it too. Nazarick. There we go. Nazarick. I bought some of that. I bought some Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. I bought some packs of those two a while ago. Like, I'm talking like 3 years ago sort of thing. Really cool cards. They're almost all just different scenes from the anime, which was really cool. And I really liked that. It's just a nice, like, almost like if it's an anime you like, yet again, an anime you like, just buy some. I know nothing about actually playing this card game. I just think the cards look cool. I'm going to be just blatantly honest here. I just think the cards look cool. That's the only reason why I bought them. And like I said, they do all sorts of stuff. Like, Hatsune Miku, right? They got Miku cards. I just bought some packs of the Miku cards. Colorful Stage. I just bought some packs. Really excited. They should be in this week, actually. Freerun. I want to buy some Freerun packs because I want to at least buy a Freerun pack because I like Freerun. Spy Family. They actually have like a little box that you can buy, which would be like a big opening for us. But like, yeah, so this was my thing, Era Fuerte. They have decks. I've thought about doing decks for this too, because the decks for these aren't that bad either. But yet again, it's an interesting one because I have no knowledge of this. It's just that it's anime, and that's cool to me. So it would be interesting to see how that works going against someone else. But like you know, am I gonna have Overlord? Am I gonna have like Lord? Am I gonna have like Lord Momonga versus like Anya from Spy Family? Right? Like, am I gonna have like Power from Chainsaw Man versus freaking Miku? You know, it's an interesting one. It's a weird one. I want to try it. Last anime one though. I think last anime, second to last anime. Okay, potentially second to last anime is Universe, but a specific Universe. It's only the My Hero stuff. My Hero stuff is cool in this. I bought a shit ton of cards of this. It kind of makes sense to me. It kind of doesn't make sense to me, but it is one that I would like to play at least once or twice with DeNutte, with Booba, because it's My Hero. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's My Hero. I love My Hero. I think My Hero is awesome. Being able to have a full-on deck of just, you know, Dobby, Hawks, you know, and then like there's just certain cards that's like Pro Hero. Aries Smiles. Like, it's like you get that card and it's like, yeah, I remember that. Like the Tasty Rift. There's a Tasty Rift card. Like, dude, like, yes, these cards are Mina Ashido. You know, there's so many of these cards that are just really cool. So I'd really like to buy, or I'd really like to play this one. I already have a ton of the cards, so I just don't know how it plays. So this is one I'd really like to play, and it's different. It's different because the way the cards look. There's a value in the top left, top right. That is a big value, big number of value. Then there's like a plus with like a shield. It looks like in the top right. In the top right, there's a plus with a shield, and then there's just like a bunch of different attributes on the right, a bunch of different things. Enhance response, like, you know. Check difficulty, block modifier, block zone, hand size, vitality. You know what I mean? Like, so big learnings there, but yet again, one that I would want to know about. A big one here, and it's not on TCG Player. I'll say this right now, it's not on TCG Player. I have not been able to find this on TCG Player. However, though, I have a deck right there from the Two Towers, That should give you a hint of what it is. I have a box. Where's the box that I have? The box is probably behind them somewhere. But the big one, though, is this. And I can just kind of reach over and grab this. Now, mind you, it is caked in dust because it has been a hot minute since I've gotten these out. However, it is the Lord of the Rings card game. And I mean like the OG Lord of the Rings card game. I have zero clue how to play this game. However, though, when I was in England, when I was still a teenager, a young teenager, like 12, 13 age, we lived in England. And when I lived in England, I think it was the first movie came out. When did the first movie come out? Lord of the Rings movies. So it may have been the first one then. Because that says 01. Let's see here. December 01, 02, 03. Yeah, so it must have been like the first one then. Maybe the Two Towers. But either way, I remember watching them. My dad was a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I became a massive Lord of the Rings fan because of this. And I saw that there was a card game for it, and I immediately went all in and bought it. And you can see, like, these are old school Ultra Pro with, like, 9-ring punch holes. And I bought so many cards and so many packs of this, so many starter decks, all the different stuff of that, because I thought it was the coolest shit ever. That was back then. Fast forward 20 plus years, and here we are doing the effing title, right? Doing the effing card game, playing cards, collecting them. And I recently went back online and found them again. They're freaking expensive. But I've been buying a couple every now and then because it is such a cool thing to have, to own, to just have, right? I have a King Theoden deck right there. And I found online there's a Nazgul deck too, and I love the Nazguls. So, that's the next one I'm going to be buying. But this is one that I would like to try and talk DeNutte into playing. Eventually at some point here. Now, like I said, zero clue how to play it. Genuine zero idea, right? I think I had an idea when I was a kid, but other than that, no freaking clue. But big one I'd like to play. And the last one, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna be the shortest out of all of them, I do believe. I'm gonna click on this link here real quick on TCG Player. Yes, so this is gonna be the quickest one out of all of them. Okay, you ready for this? It is Riftbound League of Legends. I know nothing. I just know it's a League of Legends TCG. Therefore, why wouldn't I want to play it and buy a pack or two? Right. From what I'm looking at here, there's 3 decks they're going to be doing in the first set, which is Jinx, Victor, and Lee Sin. So, I don't know. I genuinely have no clue. I have no idea. I just know that it's a thing that's happening eventually here. So there's Riftbound, though. So that's one to play. Those are card games that I'd like to play at some point here. But now let's get into Maybe Again. Now, Maybe Again is one of those things where it is literally just I'm looking at the side of my camera and there's fluff on it and that's bothering the shit out of me. Sorry. Let me just get that off you guys real quick. Maybe Again. So I listed this Maybe Again because I don't know if I want to play it again. However, though, you might be able to talk me into playing it again. There's 2 on this list. One of them is kind of short answer. One of them is kind of longer answer. So let's do the short answer first. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Went from being this kind of massive thing to now there's too many words. It's that simple. Just too many goddamn words. There's interactions on interactions on interactions on triggers on interactions on interactions on interactions. And I ain't got the time for it, man. There's so much that goes into it that I just don't have the time for it. At one point, I was I wanted to build a Rika deck on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Advanced Master Duel is what it's called. Online. But I wanted to build a deck on there. I wanted to play Rika because I like the Rika cards. I thought they looked really cool. And it was one of those things where it's if you don't know what your cards do, you're screwed. If you don't fully know what your cards do and how they interact and the ways to do them, you're screwed. And I didn't have the time and effort to put into it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have the time and effort. So therefore I didn't. Boom, done. See, Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those ones that's like I'm probably never gonna do it again. Like me and DeNutte played, I played a Cyber Dragon deck, DeNutte played a Blue Eyes deck, and like I made this massive combo, and then DeNutte was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just kill it," and I was like, "Cool." The 3-minute combo I just set up and like walked my way through. You just all right, cool, bet, right? And then he won like 3 turns later. So it is what it is. But Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those ones to me. I don't know how they need to fix Yu-Gi-Oh because I know they're having some big issues with Yu-Gi-Oh right now with some things that have been going on. I don't know how they fix it to get to the point where people are like wanting to play Yu-Gi-Oh big time again. I know there's still a massive diehard like community for Yu-Gi-Oh. However, though, I'm out, bro. I'm out. I'm out. I might buy some packs every now and then, and even then, probably not. So, and the other one, and maybe again, and this is the one that might take a little bit longer, simply just because I don't know, is One Piece. The one that's literally behind me. Yeah, so One Piece. Me and DeNutte played it. I've never watched the One Piece anime. I'll say that right now. Never have, never will. It doesn't look intriguing to me. So I'm probably never going to play it again. Therefore, the card game I'm probably never going to play again. However, though, from what I remember from when we did play, because we did play, it was an enjoyable time playing the game. We had a good time playing together. We messed up a couple times. However, though, with that being said, it still was a very enjoyable time. And it was one of those things where that's the thing that would probably make me want to play it again. Is that it was fun, maybe we'll do it again, and like not mess up this time, sort of thing. I know Jagger has been telling me there's an online like Magic Arena sort of version of it where everything's free. So maybe I'll try that at some point. I don't know. This is why this is in maybe again, because I genuinely don't know. But from what I remember playing it, it was fun. The cards seemed cool. It felt very easy interaction-wise, and actually like playing the game, it didn't feel too confusing. So who knows? Maybe that will be one that we play again. And now we get into the last one. We got 5 left. We got 5 card games left, guys. Bear with me, and we'll be done. And then you guys can let me know about these things down in the comments down below. So, but until then, let's get into need to play again. So these are card games I actually want to play again. Like, I genuinely would like to play these again with DeNutte, with Booba, just in general, with someone who knows what the hell they're doing. I would like to play these card games again because I played them once, I liked it, I thought it was cool, and I genuinely just liked the thing. So let's start off with the first one, which is the one that's going to be the easier of the two to talk about, which is Digimon. The Digimon card game I really enjoyed. I've spent, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I think it's this binder. I could be wrong. It could be the other binder, because I just have 3 binders down here. Let's take a look here real quick. Hup, is this the binder? Hello? Yes. So this binder, let me move my drink out of the way so I don't spill this while I try to show you guys all this. Alright, so like I said, I play. This binder is full. I mean, mind you, as well, right now they aren't because this is all just certain like characters. So like this whole page is like what's that, Patamon? Palmon. Palmon, Togemon, Lilymon, Growlmon, Gilamon, Gomamon. Right, so like I did a bunch of these at the very beginning. Right, and then like of course then it gets to this where this is all the rares, and this is where but like you can see like I've put money into Digimon. I thought the cards were really cool. I liked the cards when I was a kid. I had all the cards when they first came out when I was a kid. My dumbass after college sold all of my cards. I mean all of my cards. My Digimon, my Pokemon, my Magic, everything. I needed money. I was broke. So I sold everything, and I regret it to this day because there was a lot of really cool cards that you can't find easily anymore that I owned. But Digimon was one that I really liked. I'm a huge Terriermon fan, and when they announced they were making an advanced Terriermon deck, I immediately was like, I'm buying that, and I did. And that was the deck that we used when we did play. And it's one of the best episodes that we have done on the effing card game. But it was a lot of fun playing. It was unique. It's different than the other games, and that's the big thing for me is that it was different. But with it being different, that adds a lot of other elements to it that makes it more compelling and more of a, I want to say challenge, but to the same extent, I mean it more as in a not challenge, more of a it's difficult, right? Because like for instance, Magic and Lorcana are very similar. You sit down and you can play both of them. If you can play one or the other, if you've never played them. If you've only ever played Lorcana, you can sit down and play Magic. If you've only ever played Magic, you sit down and play Lorcana, right? Very small tweaks. If you've played either one of them and then you sit down and try to play Digimon, a little bit more difficult. But I genuinely really enjoyed when we did play it. I have a ton of, like I said, love Terriermon, and when they made that deck, I was so excited. So that's the big thing for me, is that like I want to play it again. That is one that, like, if we ever stop doing the card game stuff, which as you guys have seen, we've kind of slowly pumped the brakes on the card game stuff to an extent. The last card game thing we did was in July. So we kind of slowly slowed down on it. We're still going to be doing it. Don't worry for the people that did enjoy the effing card game. It's still going to be around. It's just that we're slowing it down a little bit. But Digimon is one that we have talked about doing again because we both very much enjoyed it. I don't know if he's going to use the same deck or if he's going to get a new deck. All I know, though, is I'm going to use the same deck I had. And yeah, that's one that I've really enjoyed and I need to play again. Like, I genuinely would like to play it again. And now the next one with this is a kind of a weird one, because this is one that I was not sure about when we first said, hey, let's do this. And it's Battle Spirits Saga. Battle Spirits Saga was the weirdest thing, and it was so cool. The cards look unique. The playstyle was unique because there's like gems that you have to use, and certain gems do certain things, and like it was very cool because of the way it was set up. We looked it up online. We felt like we had a decently good handle on the game too. It was one of those ones like a Card Fight Vanguard, where like we're sitting there like, yeah, we watched a bunch of videos and we still have no clue what we're doing. With this one, we felt pretty confident in what we were doing, the way we were playing. There was some things that we obviously weren't sure on. Like, you know, for instance, like I'm looking right now, we had a comment that said more BSS content, which we don't get a whole lot of comments on some of these things. It's understandable. I get it. So when we did get that, though, I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of weird and interesting. So like I said, this would be kind of an interesting one to go back to. And yet again, this is another one, like the Card Fight Vanguard one, where the decks, I don't think, were that much. And that was really cool too. My big thing with decks is, like, when we do the effing card game, a lot of what we're doing is first time playing. So what we're trying to do is this, is as Magic players, how difficult is it to get into a new game? Right? We spend a couple hours... If a couple hours. I mean, I'd spend like an hour or two. Duke probably spends like, you know, an hour, if that. But we just watch a video or two online, find out what it is, like find out like, hey, this is how you're supposed to play it. See if the official website has a video. Card Fight Vanguard had an official video. I mean, that, and we still suck to that. And then some of them come with their own little playbooks, right? It was like, hey, this is how you play the game. So that's kind of what we were doing, was it was more of a, like, how difficult is it to play these games, right? And like I said, there was a lot of uniqueness in that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I wonder, did I write anything with this? I didn't. Okay, I wasn't sure if I wrote anything with it. But like I said, artwork on the cards were cool. The whole concept with gems were cool. I just wish that I wish there was more stuff or different we could do with it. But that's Battle Spirits Saga. So now the next three are TCGs I like, and I'm going to kind of go into why I like them, as well as the playing aspects of them. So we're going to start at the bottom with Pokemon. I know that's weird, right? We're going to start at the bottom with Pokemon. But Pokemon is kind of one of those ones where, like, I've talked about this before. I like my generation. Because my generation has been through everything, where it went from not having the internet to having, hey, I need you to get off the phone so I can use the internet, to where we're at now, where if I had this back in 1990, people would be like, wouldn't understand what the fuck's going on, right? So But I still remember the first ever Pokemon episode. I still remember it, like watching it. I still remember getting my first Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red. I still remember choosing Charmander right off rip. I'm an idiot. I should have picked Bulbasaur. Is my Bulbasaur over there? Yeah, my Bulbasaur is over there. But I picked Charmander when I was a kid. Right? Everyone has their favorite Pokemon. Mine's Tauros. I got a derpy Tauros up there. Right? One of his eyes is a little off, so he's my derpy Tauros. But Tauros is my favorite Pokemon. So, Pokemon is always going to be a big thing. Right? Either you were big, either you liked Pokemon or you didn't like Pokemon. There was no in between, I feel like. So, with me, the card game is fun. It's easy enough. It is one of the original kind of different ones to me. And I know that's probably weird considering that most of us played that before any other ones. But I played it, let's be honest here, most of us just collect it. And that's why it's third on the out of the three for me, is because to me Pokemon is more of a collection thing now these days than it is an actual playing the game thing these days. It's gotten bad with the scalpers, it's gotten bad with the scammers, and it's a really shitty thing what's been going on with it. Especially with it being, like, what it is. But that's just kind of where we're at right now, unfortunately. And the worst part is that it's starting to go into other card games now, unfortunately, as well. Because people are starting to see it, and they're like, oh, shit, well, if they're not going to do this, then what games are they playing? Oh, they're playing this game? Okay, let's go over there, right? Kind of like what just happened with the Avatar drop with MTG. But Pokemon, play-wise, really fun. Decently easy. If you have, what is it called on the phone again? I always mess it up. Pokemon TCGP. It's a Pokemon trading card game pocket. If you have that, you can play the game anytime. Just do them, get on, play it. Right? I do that all the time. I just get on and play. But it's interesting. It's a really cool. It's really cool because it's just that generational thing that, like I said, when I was a kid, about 5 years old, fast forward 30 years, I still have my favorite Pokemon, I still have my favorite cards, I still have my favorite, team, I still have, the one moment when it was like, which was the Miltank, right, the rollout Miltank. Was it rollout Miltank? Was it Miltank? Was that it? Rollout Miltank. Yeah, Whitney's rollout Miltank. Yeah, that shit from, was it Silver and Gold? Yeah, just, yeah, that was a nightmare. The Missing Go glitch, which destroyed my Pokemon Blue. Like I said, everyone has different things with Pokemon. That my only big problem with the Pokemon TCG is that it's not a TCG, really. It feels like it is more just of a collectible thing than it is a TCG, actual TCG, and people playing it. Like I said, I like it. It would be fun. It's fun to play every now and then. However, though, it's third out of my three. My number 2 is Disney Lorcana, which is a weird one, them saying it like that, considering that I'm slowly going to be getting out of Disney Lorcana. Financially, where I'm at, I can't be spending $200 every single launch of a new set. When it first came out, and I was doing a lot of stuff with it, content-wise, and like reaction stuff and opening stuff, it was going great. Things were good. But as you guys know, and as you guys have seen, I like to spread myself out. I don't close in on one thing anymore. I just kind of, if I like it, I try it out. And with me doing that, other content creators just locked in on Lorcana, and it became one of those things where your boy just kind of fell to the side. So that kind of put a sour taste to an extent on it for me. And it's more of a sour taste from me. It's not a sour taste for what people, like people not watching or, oh, he's angry at the other creators. I love seeing these guys do their thing, right? There's like the Lorcana villain, and then there's JD something. I can't remember his name now. But like I like seeing these guys do their thing, be fully involved in it, fully locked in. Like that's their thing. I love seeing it because you can genuinely see how happy they are with it. Lorcana was really cool because it was a positive spin on Magic, is the way I word it to people. Where Magic is about getting people down to 0 and destroying life totals and killing creatures and, that sort of stuff. Lorcana is about getting 220 lore, and you have to go questing. And you're not going to kill something, you're going to challenge him. You know, I'm going to challenge you, and you can sing songs, and everyone has their favorite Disney thing. It's the same thing with Pokemon. Everyone has their favorite Disney character. Everyone has their favorite Disney story. For me, it's Fantasia and Robin Hood. I was working on a Robin Hood deck before I decided to make this, switch in my head. But at this point where I'm at right now, you guys see me and DeNutte play Lorcana. That's all I play of Lorcana. I can't be spending like $1,000 a year on a card game that I don't play. That's just a me thing, right? So at this point, that's where I'm at with that. I genuinely think Lorcana is a fantastic game. I have been hearing rumbles that it is not doing well within communities and within like the playing space. If you do play Lorcana, let me know down in the comments, because I genuinely would like to know about this, because I've heard it from multiple people that like people saying Lorcana is dying, and it's from people who play Lorcana. So I would like to know why you think that is, and if it is actually true or not. Because, like I said, for me, my big thing is I just don't have the people to play it. If I had people to play it with and I was playing it regularly, I probably would stay in it. I just wouldn't be buying as much product as I was. But, yeah. I've bought 3 packs of Fabled, and I think that's going to be it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and buy Robin Hood cards. If there's any new Robin Hood cards, I'm just going to buy that one copy of it. And that's it from now on. And that's what I'm going to do with a lot of the card games, actually, I've talked about recently. My favorite character, favorite certain thing. We're going to buy one of each one of the cards and just, collect like that sort of thing. And then that brings us to the last one. This is the big one. This is the one that I kind of started with. I know I said I started with Pokemon. And Pokemon and OG Digimon were ones I started with, but this was the first one I started. I was like playing it, like it wasn't just a collectible thing. This was actually like I'm buying this and playing it sort of thing, and that's Magic the Gathering. And Magic's gonna be a bigger thing moving forward for me, I think. Out of the card games, simply just because I've kind of refound my love for Magic, which is being very specific with the way I build things and the way I look at things and like ideas that I have. And to me, I just think it is a very easy game. And I know that's a weird thing to say, and I know there's people out there typing away probably telling me that I'm an idiot. But I do believe that Magic is one of the easier games. It's how you teach someone Magic and what you show them to start with. That's where people have the problems with it. Because if I give my buddy Rob, who's never played Magic a day in his life, and I give him my Sauron deck, for instance, he's gonna be lost. He's gonna have no freaking clue what that means. However, if I give him a very easy black zombie deck, or a red goblin deck, or a green elf deck, and I just say, hey, this is what you want, this is what this deck does. Done. Versus, here's the 3 things this deck does, and this is the way you want to do it depending on what you get in the first 5 turns. Right? I think Magic is also a big thing now, especially with Universes Beyond, with everybody. Because you have all of these different properties now. If you're a Fallout fan, you can literally just buy Fallout decks and just make whatever you want. Lord of the Rings fan, like I said earlier, I have every one of the precons, and I made a Sauron deck based. I used the precon and then just adjusted it and maneuvered it, but it's my deck build off of it. But the Sauron deck, that's one of the ones that I have. You can go Assassin's Creed. In universe, they have their own fairy tale set. In universe, they have their own Harry Potter set. There's so many different things that Magic the Gathering has done now. I mean, you can even go like Wacky Racer set. Jesus, I didn't. Yeah, Clue, right? Jurassic Park. There's so many different things that Magic the Gathering offers that I genuinely would find it hard to believe that there isn't something for someone, right? Like, for instance one here. My father thinks all TCGs are stupid. He thinks a lot of these things are stupid. And I know that me talking to him about it, he just doesn't care. I can see it on his face. I can see it on his reaction. Right? He just doesn't care. However, my dad, big art guy. When I was growing up, and when he was growing up, we both loved art. We drew, we did all sorts of stuff. And one of his favorite artists was Frank Frazetta. And when I was getting back into Magic, I saw they were doing a Frank Frazetta Secret Lair. And I didn't tell him about it. I bought it. I just straight up bought it, and then I showed him the cards. And he was like, I could tell, like, there was a little bit of a spark that happened at that point. Because I could tell, like, him looking at it, like, he was kind of like, he was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like, they did this sort of thing. And all it is the artwork change, right? But there's something for everybody. You like Westerns? There's a set now for that. You like space? There's a set for that. You like Doctor Who? There's a set for that. There's so many things that Magic has done now where it is... I genuinely find it difficult for someone to not find something that they can like, build, and then enjoy off of. And eventually find other things to build off of. But for me, Magic is the set. Magic is the TCG. Magic is the pinnacle, right? Now, of course, like I said, that's me. I'm also a Magic player. I have been since, early 2000s. Like 2000 sort of thing. So that's me. But I've rambled on long enough. And now I have questions for you guys if you've made it this far. If you have, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I love you guys. But here's my questions for you guys, though, now. Because like I said, I have some questions. What is your favorite card game right now? What is the card game that you despise? First part, right there. What's the one that you really like? What's the one that you despise? What got you into card games? Was it actually playing, or was it the collectible reselling side of it? If you could have a card game or add to a card game, what would you make a card game, or what would you add to a card game? And finally, what is some things, just genuine card game knowledge stuff that I may not know that you think I should know, right? Or if you guys just want to tell me about something. For instance, like if you're a big Star Wars Unlimited fan, what is something that, as a Star Wars Unlimited player, fan, collector, what's something that you would tell me that I should look out for, or that I should be looking for? Let me know down in the comments down below, right? Next week, DeNutte should be back. Fingers crossed. He should be back. Is he going to be back, though? Don't know. No idea. But he should be. So, with that being said, though, that is me done for the day. Thank you all for stopping by and listening to me rant about card games and my opinions on them, which are probably wrong, but they're my opinions, so who cares? As always, depending on where you are, morning, afternoon, even night, stay safe, and we talk to y'all later. Okay, bye!